Welcome back to our Mackems Walk. Hope you're well. Two positives from that West Ham game. The Hume roaming midfielder experiment is over, and Diarra returning. And Freddie says never ever wear that black kit ever again. Just what went wrong in London? We've got Leo, Dylan, Charlie, and Jamie back with us to hopefully give us their view on it all. Is it just the Hume experiment that needs to be ended? Or did Regis really mess that up? Plus, we're talking about who Sunderland's best ever manager has been over the last 20 years and who has given us the best style of football. Plus, we're up to the letter M in our A to Z, and we're looking all over the transfer window rumours as well. Let's kick this off then, Leo. Is it? We should just retire this black kit, first of all, shouldn't we, before we get into the football side of it? It hasn't been good for you this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice kit to wear. I've got the shirt myself, but in terms of the team on the pitch, we should just scrap it.
Yeah. Right, from your view, Leo, then, what the hell went wrong there?
I don't really know, something to put it down to. It's just that first half was probably the worst half of football I've watched us have. Looked really bright really early on, and then as soon as our first goal went in, it was just waves for them, really. It was just weird sitting there watching it. It was just looked completely different to what we've been used to seeing. And we'll probably talk about the form that we've got away from home, but it has creeped in a few times, our first half performance, in particular away from home. It happened against United early in the season, a couple more times. That's mainly the thing. We brag that we're a second half team, but sometimes, that comes back to bite you because you can't really come back from 3-0 down. So it's tough to put it down to one thing in particular, really.
Okay. Some Sunderland fans, Dylan, have been saying one player in particular can't escape any blame. Simon says, so three things I never want to see again. Trey Hume in midfield, the black kit, and Romain Mundle. We'll come on to Mundle in a second, but this Trey Hume experiment, as some are calling it, this roaming role in midfield, many have said that now has to stop. Do you agree?
Listen, he was really, really not very good. That was probably one of his worst games for us, not even just the season, but full stop against West Ham. But then there was other games where he was playing on the right side of midfield, like Liverpool, where I thought he was excellent. So it's just one of them. I do think he probably wasn't helped by how we were just getting run ragged in midfield. Then he's had to come in and he just didn't look natural there. I was quite surprised that with Granit Xhaka being out, we didn't just put Gertrude at the base of the three-man midfield. That's what I was expecting. Obviously, that's not what we got. But I think it's just one of them where we got ran ragged. I don't think there's a specific reason or a specific player who was at fault. I think we were just shocking from top to bottom for especially the first half. Obviously, picked up a bit in the second half. But I think Hume's looked all right further forward at times. Obviously, did not look all right whatsoever against West Ham. But it's one of them. I like Trey Hume, and I think he's stepped up a lot this season, but certainly a performance to forget for him.
Yeah, for many of them as well. Paulo says, Sean, this was Libre's worst game. Mundle and Mayenda are a championship standard. Only Hume cannot play midfield. Need a striker, a right winger, attacking defensive midfielder. This was absolutely garbage. We'll get into the transfer bit in a second, but in terms of Libre, is this one's on him?
Yeah. I mean, the players weren't great either, but I didn't understand Gertrude not even coming on at all either. And I feel like just shows how important Xhaka is. Like, we didn't realise, like, people were saying he wasn't our most important player, but yeah, he is. Just his leadership as well on the pitch. I feel like even like Siddiqui was not on his best, and I feel like it might have been because of Xhaka. But yeah, I just want to say about Mundle as well. Like, it's going to take him a long time to get back to his full fitness. Like, we're seeing how good he was in the championship for us. So I think loan him out maybe to get him more regular minutes once everyone's back. But I don't think Meyenda's championship standard. Like, I think it's a bit unfair on Meyenda. Probably his first game where he's not really being involved, and I think that was just because of how the game went. So yeah, definitely unfair. Like, bit of an overreaction from a lot of fans.
Jamie, do you agree with that? I mean, the Mayenda's getting a lot of stick online.
I think they'll probably both benefit from going and playing regular football in the Championship again. They're both young players. Probably too soon to write them off as Premier League players, but they're not players that you'd want to see starting regularly in your Premier League team. At the minute, I think that's fair to say. I think Mayenda's a moments player. He has flashes of brilliance, but I think overall, again, he's what's he going to be? Is he going to be a striker? Is he going to be a wide man? It's a bit of an experiment. But I don't think either are kind of cut out yet to be regular first team players in a Premier League team that wants to, as we start the season, push on to be what we want to be. I think that's areas where we need to get better, or wide areas going forward. There's room for improvement massively.
I will say about our fans on Twitter, we are some of the most reactionary set of fans I've ever seen. Just 3 weeks ago, everyone was saying to tear up Lafayette's contract, and then the week after he scores and he's the best player, he's better than Zidane again. And then we were all calling Mayenda to maybe get more minutes the other week. I thought he was actually really bright when we played City over the Christmas period. So he has had bright performances. But I've always seen him, when we come into the Prem, as one of them players that comes off the bench and just gives you a bit of energy. I don't really think him as a starter week in, week out.
I couldn't understand why Lebris started and beat Man City at home, but then didn't start and beat Palace. It's like it was just a strange one. Like some of his tactical or decisions that he makes. I mean, he's been great. Let's not get past that, but he does chuck out random ones at times. Like Palace at home, you think Mayenda's going to play and start, and he played human that role. It was a strange one.
Yeah. I'm laughing because I saw one tweet, I didn't get it, that was looking at the gap between you guys and the bottom, saying there's always one team that drops in it, and we're only 13 points above the drop. I mean, I suppose that's just because of what's happened in the past. You're still raw against it. You know, this team is going to let you down at some point. But no, I mean, there's absolutely no chance that that's going to happen. The final one on this topic was about the play you mentioned, Dylan. Says drop Human Mayenda, get Gertrude back in the team and play Jack, even though he's got his broken leg yet. Why wasn't Gertrude back in the team for you, Dylan? Should he have been?
Well, obviously in hindsight, he should have been back on the team as part of the three-man midfield. But even after that, as much as I love him, the fact that Luke O'Nien got on the pitch before him, honestly, my jaw dropped when I seen that. And I know he nearly scored an absolute wonder goal with that cross-come shot, but the fact that O'Nien got on before Gertrude, I really, really didn't understand. I understand the game was probably a bit too far gone at that point for us to get anything from it, but you want to put your best foot forward, and technical-wise, when he's been on, there's been times Gertrude has been our better player when he's been on the pitch. He sort of breaks up the play really well, gets involved, chases the ball down. And I think when we just needed to seize a bit of control later in the game to try and get back into it, which was obviously a big task, I don't see why he wasn't brought on. But if Xhaka is going to be out for as long as it's being expected, then I would assume that Gertrude is going to get back in the side and sort of take up the Xhaka role. But I want to see him back in the team if that's how we're going to play without someone controlling that midfield.
I mean, yeah, like he played during the week for the under-21s. And that was supposedly just to get minutes under his legs. But surely, I mean, at 3-0, you kind of accepting that the game's going to be gone. That would be the time to give him even more minutes. Because we all know that O'Nien's not going to be someone that we see as a first-team player for the next few years if we stay in the Premier League for that long. But I actually see Gertrude as being able to do that. So you would think that's going to be the time when he gets his chance.
I've just read there that the Breeze has said that he trusts both of the players, and he kind of thought Luke was best for the situation at the time, which I don't know. That's just like Gertrude wants to be in a Dutch squad for the World Cup. I'm assuming, so I can't imagine him sitting there being happy.
Yeah,
like, wasting time and wasting months and probably missing. If he misses out the Dutch squad, I can't imagine being a happy chappy.
I want to talk about the away form generally with you all in a second. Before we talk on the negatives, let's focus on the positives. Arsenal lost at home this afternoon, sure, which means now that if we look across all the top European leagues, there's an elite group of unbeaten home records, including Juventus, PSG, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, and Sunderland. First of all, are you surprised? And second of all, why is there such a gap between how you're performing at the Stadium of Light and how you do on the road?
I don't know. I think I just set up differently away. Like, I and just seem to play. I don't know, don't know why, to be honest, but yeah, some unbelievable games at home this season. And yeah, that unbeaten at home, but we've got Burnley next, so wouldn't want to say too much after such a Sunderland thing. Even if we had we'd go to the last game of the season, and it would play like a cup game, and would still lose that unbeaten streak. But yeah, it's an amazing thing. I was actually, when Arsenal lost, I was buzzing about that. It's the first thing I thought of. But yeah, I don't understand why we're so different away, like a totally different team. You wouldn't expect.
Anyone else got a view on it? Because it's a talking point on some on social media at the moment. It's just the away form's starting to worry a few people.
I think personally we struggle to keep a lot of the ball possession wise. I think we hand over the ball a lot, and I think teams at home get at you a lot more, a bit more positive at their home places. And we eventually we were solid at the start of the season, or more solid. We shipped 3 at Brentford, and shipped 3 at West Ham, and we just don't look as solid as we have been previously on the road.
Yeah. I think the factor of it is just the fans getting behind it. You know, the buzz that's been around the stadium and around the city this season. You're not going to feel that as much when there's 3,000 fans in the corner of a stadium compared to 50,000 almost cheering you're at home. That shouldn't really mean that we perform any differently, but that's probably why you've seen us come back from behind so many times at home rather than conceding the first goal away and then not really being able to push on and get back into the game.
Yeah, it was that Crystal Palace game, wasn't it, where you literally sucked the ball into the net, and that second one. Okay, transfer window then closes just as before that Burnley game kicks off on Monday night, Dylan. What are you hearing? Anything at all? We've got a lot of Championship rumours of players going out, but what do you want coming in?
In terms of what I want, if we can get some sort of new backup keeper so that Patterson can go out either on loan or permanently, because that's something that's dragged on all window. But we need either, and I've had some stick this before, we either need another striker to help chip in some goals, or we need a new winger who can actually contribute some goals, because we can't shy away from the fact we're not scoring enough. Brian Brobby has done really well the past few weeks. Obviously, he's now our top scorer, and he looks proper Premier League quality now. And I trust him to keep scoring the rest of the season. But if, as much as I love Wilson Isidore, if Brian Brobby gets injured tomorrow and he's out for the season, I'm not very confident we're going to finish where we're hoping to. If Wilson Isidore has to start every game for the rest of the season, then I might get some stick for that. But if you look at what he does in games where he doesn't score, it's nothing. So I would like either a winger who can chip in with some goals, or another striker who can sort of share the goal scoring mantle, because we're not scoring enough at the minute.
Yeah, Jamie?
Pretty much the same. Our wide threat's limited. Don't think we really hurt teams them areas enough. And like again, Isidore's not going to bother too many teams. Again, he's a moment's play. He'll do something and then do nothing for 4 or 5 weeks. But yeah, it would have been nice to see a fully fit midfield with Xhaka, Diarra, Lafay and Siddiqui battling for places. But now got Diarra back and Xhaka's now out, so it's a tricky one. But yeah, wide threat. If we could only pick one thing.
Okay. Leo, Charlie, any others? Any names you're hearing?
I mean, I heard N'Golo Kante at the start of the week. I don't know what I think about that one. But yeah, I agree. Just out wide, this season in the Prem, Talby 1 goal, Traore 1 goal, Adingra 1 goal. It's not enough if you haven't got a striker that's getting the 15 or so, like Thiago for Brentford. So if we're looking to have the goals more shared around, it needs to come from those wide areas, because Xhaka and Lafay are great at getting the ball into that final third from the midfield, and then we get there and it's almost kind of a surprise when we do score. Sometimes it's like we've actually managed to put the ball in the back of the net, especially away from home. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned Patterson there, Dylan. Of course, Millwall are rumoured to be in for him. Is that a good move for him? Do you think? Going back to the Championship?
Yeah, again, he's an academy lad and he's a local lad, and he done his bit to help us get where we are. But if we're brutally honest, he's not Premier League quality. He's a very good shot stopper, but you've got to have a better all-around game than he has at this current moment to be able to play in the Premier League. His kicking's very subpar. His command of area is not convincing at times. So I think get back down to the Championship, whether that be on loan or permanent. Get the next 6 months under your belt. If that's on loan at Millwall, that's a team who's fighting for a playoff spot. So an environment that he's familiar with from last season in terms of league position. I think it could only be better for him than sitting on the bench and not coming on, because unless Robin Roos breaks both his arms tomorrow, Patterson's never starting in the Premier League for us. And
just one more bit, Sean, Jamie, you won't be aware, but the Championship clubs are currently fighting over Tommy Watson from Brighton. Are either you surprised he hasn't really taken the Premier League by storm?
I thought it would just be a project signing, really, like Brighton do. Didn't expect him to play as much as he has. I think he's played a handful of games, but I didn't think he would be in the Premier League squad, to be honest, much. Not saying he's a bad player, but I just didn't think Brighton would trust him as being the backup winger. But if he can get 6 months in the Championship, then yeah, that'd be brilliant for him.
Yeah, I think we've got about three or four clubs, including Stoke and Sheffield United and Leicester, fighting over at the moment. Jamie, are you surprised? Is the Championship his level, do you think?
I don't think last season he proved that he was any more than that, really. Didn't really regularly play for us. So I think going to Brighton was a big surprise for everybody, really. I don't think no one thought he was going to be a regular player. So a move back to the Championship wouldn't be a surprise to anybody, really.
Yeah, okay. Right, it is Burnley next then. They are 10 points adrift of the bottom three, given West Ham and Nottingham Forest win this weekend. Potential banana skin, Leo, this. They have beaten you already once this season, of course, at Turf Moor. There is that record of the home game unbeaten. Is this one you should be very careful of?
I mean, every game in the Premier League is one of those, isn't it? Even the teams right down there, you even look how bad Wolves seem to have been this season. Burnley as well. They've got players who can just pop up with a moment, and if you're not on your game, these teams can surprise you. And they got a draw against Liverpool recently, draw against Man United, so they're not a bad team if we on our game. But I think just the fact we're at home will mean that we get the 3 points. If it was away, I'd probably maybe say a draw. But I said 4-0 for West Ham, so what do I know?
Are you surprised, Dylan, just how badly they've done, Burnley? Did you expect them to be at least challenging to stay up? I mean, they're pretty much gone, aren't they?
No, I didn't. Before the season, I thought they'd go straight back down. The signings they made, some were impressive, some less impressive. Started off quite well, and after the first few weeks, I was like, oh, they didn't have the better results, but I thought they're giving a good account of themselves. Been a bit hard done by in some games, I think it was Man United. They played in a few dodgy VAR decisions, sort of screwed them out the 3 points there. But I've said before, if we don't go unbeaten at home all season, it'll probably be because we get beat by Burnley. It's as you said, it's a banana skin. And the one thing that does worry me is with Granit Xhaka being out. Yes, their midfield quality-wise shouldn't be a scratch on ours, but they're hard working and they're tenacious. And if our midfield plays the way they did at the weekend, people like Hannibal Mejbri, as much as I don't particularly rate him technically, are going to have a field day because he'll just kick lumps out of everybody, put himself about, and just bully the midfield. And most games, at least games that we played in the season, get won or lost to midfield. And I think that was a big issue against West Ham. So this is why I want Gertrude back in there at the base to sort of shore things up. And as Leo said, we should beat them. It's at home. We are the better team on paper, but I wouldn't even be surprised if they'd done the double over us, because it would just be the most Sunderland thing ever to have a great season and still have Burnley do the double over.
We'll chat about that, of course, next week on this channel. Brilliant. Thank you very much, everyone. We're up to the letter M in our A to Z, which has got us thinking about managers. And we're asking you in particular, not for the most successful manager you've ever watched, but which manager have you enjoyed the football under the most in your lifetime? So get thinking about that. Next week we're talking about the worst, and I know there's a few you could put forward for that. So let us know in the comments when we read some of those out next week. Who's the worst manager that you've ever watched for Sunderland in terms of the style of play? Who's been the best, though, for you, Sean? Let's try and take this in age order, shall we?
For me, factually enjoyable, and also Tony Mowbray, just because away games I went to that season as well, and how nice he is just to speak to. Would always speak to him for 5 minutes every game, and yeah, the football was unbelievable. To watch, no defending, just attack. Obviously, we had Ahmad Roberts. Sims, Stewart, Gelhart, a lot of players that just loved watching. So yeah, it was class.
Leo?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of game experience and the most enjoyment, it's obviously got to be Labrie for me. He's given us the best 3 games I remember in my life. Coventry, Sheffield United, and the Mags. But when you talk about the football we actually play on the pitch, Mowbray ball was definitely a sight to behold. Just if anyone watching this doesn't know what I'm talking about, just go and watch Jack Clark's goal against Reading.
Dylan?
Oh, there's a few you could say. Obviously, it probably is Regis Labrie, but for the sake of being different, I would say either Gus Poyet, just the year we got to the League Cup final. That was a great year at a very terrible time where we were just constantly trying to stay up every year. Or Mike Dodd's interim manager only ever when we played Leeds or West Brom. Any other game, shocking. But against those two, we're on for a good match.
Decent shouts. Jamie?
Again, I would say Mowbray, but for a bit of difference, the Sam Allardyce survival, the games at the stadium when we kind of stayed up and relegated the Mags and Wabi Kazri and Lamine Cornet and them nights at Stadium of Light when we managed to stay up and keep in the Premier League and send them down. So yeah, that's a big shame it ended quickly.
Yeah. Good shouts all around. Let us know in the comments if we've missed any. Finally this week then, letter M. We're up to, if you're not sure how this works, we're doing an A to Z, 1 page per letter of the alphabet, 1 entry, which represents Sunderland's history. Anyone got a good one here?
The only one I can think of is Mikkel Mandron. I don't know why that's the first name coming to my mind.
Of all the players,
for Gillingham, yeah. So we're definitely not putting him forward. Honestly, this is
Jimmy Montgomery.
Jimmy Montgomery. There we go. No, I forgot him. That's definitely the one.
Give it to Keith Moore for the vibes. Put it on a plate for Tommy Watson to play on final. Best headed assist you'll ever see.
Any more? Mowbray? We should put Mowbray in there. So
I will.
Jan Villa, our French midfielder who we all cried about when we lost him.
Oh, that Instagram post still makes me cry to this day, man.
No, aye.
Brilliant. Right. Have they missed any? Let us know in the comments. Right. Thank you very much, you four. Appreciate it. What a strange result that was at the weekend. No one saw that one coming. Hopefully we're back on track next week against Burnley. Catch us then. Drop us a sub if you've done so. Good to have your company yet again on Where Mackems Walk.